Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel. This is absolutely huge. This is the website for Ken Paxton, Attorney General of Texas. Investigation into ActBlue by Attorney General Ken Paxton uncovers large number of suspicious donations made through obscured identities and untraceable means. OAG demands FEC action. Okay, now it's not just Ken Paxton. It's numerous attorneys general from Texas, Virginia, Arkansas, Florida, and Missouri, including the Department of Justice. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Why is that important? Because President Trump on Truth Social stated that they should all be in jail, including Congressman Adam Schiff, who was pardoned. But we'll get to that in a second. The pardon doesn't even address past crimes, which potentially could be numerous, pertain to fomenting an absurd fantasy, a conspiratorial theory that Trump was a Kremlin operative for years and years. But any potential donations that went to Schiff and others through an organization that's being investigated right now. Okay, hit subscribe. We'll get to that in a second. Check this out. President Trump essentially arrested a number of people through Truth Social. Hit subscribe. Check this out.
Directing the Justice Department to investigate ActBlue. This is a Democratic donation platform. And meanwhile, President Trump is directing the Justice Department to investigate ActBlue. This is a Democratic donation platform. And the focus as the allegations about illegal straw donors and foreign contributions. Mark Meredith is live in Washington with more. This has been brewing for a while, Mark. What do we need to know?
Dana, for years, you're right about this, but this is a big development. The White House is directing the Attorney General to investigate the Democratic Party's top fundraising platform. It's called ActBlue, and the president says he wants to know if foreign money is being donated to the group and then utilized to sway elections. Democrats are calling this probe a dangerous abuse of power. ActBlue is an enormous operation in Democratic politics. It's raised more than $16 billion since 2004. You may have seen the text pop up from candidates saying, please donate, go to the ActBlue website. Republicans use something similar called Win Red. There was a new memo signed on Thursday directing the Attorney General to investigate if foreign nationals are using the ActBlue platform to bypass campaign finance laws. Trump wants a report out in 6 months. Republicans who've been looking to this for years up on the Hill say a formal federal investigation is long overdue.
So really quickly, Schiff and others use ActBlue. Totally fine, totally above board. If you go down, there's this website here trying to answer a question regarding ActBlue and Schiff. I tried 2 times this past day, okay, and I wasn't able to do it. It's exasperating to me because now this is a website that the website has nothing to do with this video or this conversation, but the person trying to find out, from some kind of expert how ActBlue works. Here's the question. I tried 2 times this past day to donate to Schiff's campaign. Then you fast forward this past day, it was asking for my email. And then apparently I don't know if this is accurate, but according to this site, it was asking for the password as well. I don't want to give ActBlue, obviously, that information. They sent a temporary password. Okay, so again, this is very bizarre. The whole thing is bizarre. I could be reading that wrong, but ActBlue is huge for Democrats, $16 billion, and there's no equivalent to the Republican Party. Schiff and others use it. Apparently, it's totally above board and legal in the manner they're using it at this moment. Okay, but President Trump wants to eventually arrest Schiff and others for crimes that potentially took place after the pardon, which could be quite numerous when you're talking about dealing with ActBlue. Potentially, if it is engaged in any scheme to acquire money from foreign governments, foreign individuals, foreign sources, that's a big problem, and that is prison time potentially for a number of people. Let's continue really quickly. This is huge.
We know nefarious countries that don't have the United States interests at heart are looking for ways to influence and impact U.S. policy. Making sure that we're closing the door to that as it relates to campaign finance and as it relates to actually voting in U.S. elections is absolutely essential.
ActBlue says it's ready to defend itself, including through the courts. Overnight, the new chairman of the Democratic National Committee released a blistering statement accusing Trump of trying to silence his opposition. Ken Mort writing, Trump is trying to block lawful grassroots donations from supporters, giving just $5 or $10 to candidates who oppose him, while further empowering the corrupt billionaires who already control his administration.
The Democrats have had more billionaires. They had something like 30 to 50 more billionaires in 2020 than Trump. And so they've always had more billionaires. They only care about billionaires because Elon Musk is running Doge. That's the only reason they care about billionaires. Furthermore, they don't have functioning primaries. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign as the DNC chairwoman in 2016. Why? Because emails came out that they wrote that proved that they were cheating Bernie Sanders. All of that money was then used in part to fund a Steele dossier, which, by the way, the FEC and DNC paid fines. They actually broke FEC laws. They violated FEC laws with a Steele dossier that year. So, and then Biden won his primary, and how many millions of Democratic voters were disenfranchised? Okay, they always use that word disenfranchised. Well, okay. Biden won his primary. Why didn't the Democratic Party fulfill the will of its people during the primary? You can say, well, Bernie Sanders didn't win. Well, yeah, he was cheated. And he's part of that corrupt system anyway. He didn't even say one word. He didn't say, oh, you cheated me. Debbie and Hillary and everyone, you cheated. No, Bernie would never do that because he's not Trump. President Trump actually goes to bat for the country. Record low poverty with Trump, record highs in household median income in his first term. Now he's trying to end never-ending military conflict, which is what one would think Bernie would want. But Bernie, the Democrats don't run. They don't acquire money to uphold a value system. They acquire money because it's like they get donations because it's almost like a political, it's an atheistic political religion, almost like a cult. Okay, Democrats never get politicians that actually go to bat for them or actually fulfill what they want. Trump, tariffs, bringing back manufacturing, the working class benefits greatly. We need to bring back manufacturing so all of our jobs aren't outsourced forever to China and other countries, ending never-ending military conflict, enforcing immigration laws, which, by the way, interestingly enough, Bernie Sanders wanted also. But let's continue. Okay, so there is no equivalent of ActBlue with Trump or with Republicans, or Trump Republicans, maybe never Trump Republicans, because Trump delivers. People give donations to Trump because he actually delivers on his promises. Democrats do not. It's a kind of atheistic political religion, almost a political cult, kind of like a social club. They want to feel morally superior, so they donate to the Democratic Party. But see, again, ActBlue is used to funnel all that money. But there's a whole bunch of questions regarding what's going on.
And Danny, you'll love this. This controversy could end up helping ActBlue, at least in the short term. The website is now raising money off the investigation, encouraging people to donate to ActBlue, mentioning it's a Trump target. It's right there on their front page.
Yeah, probably nothing better than to fuel those donations for the moment. Thank you.
Yeah. Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House, joins us now. Good morning to you. Axios reports that there were 3 Republican-led committees that found 22 cases of significant fraud in ActBlue. When you were in Congress, were you aware of this? And if so, what are the details?
Well, what you found out was there's suspicious patterns. And remember, this is probably the largest platform, and they do more than just Democrat donations within there. But what we found is that there are elderly names, meaning people who are deceased that are still giving. They have people listed that have given 10,000 times in a year. When contacted, one man in Maryland said he gave 3,000 times on ActBlue, but he said he only gave a couple times. It had some people who were low income that didn't have much money, had him listed as like super donors, giving thousands of dollars. When contacted by one woman, she gave one time. And this is the way that if you steal names, it's a way for foreign entities to influence elections. So these suspicious patterns where someone's giving 10,000 times or somebody has deceased names, that should be investigated, and there should be no problem with this investigation.
Hit subscribe to the channel right now. This is absolutely huge.